What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. We're going to change the name of the series because we're starting a serious cut starting today. I've been eating kind of at maintenance, eating whatever I want, kind of monitoring my food, just half-assing everything. But it's time to lock in. It's time to cut down and see what kind of physique I have built under these layers of fat. So we're adjusting the diet. I'm only going to allow myself 1,500 to 1,800 calories a day. It's going to be a pretty simple approach. I'm going to eat my 6 eggs, a little bit of carbs in the morning, 500 to 600 calories. I'll have my lunch, which will be some type of carb source and some protein, 50 to 60 grams of protein, about 600 calories. And then we're going to slice it down for dinner, have some kind of really lean protein with some veggies, and that is it. That is the plan. And that's how we're going to make it happen. How this is going to affect my energy levels in the gym, I'm not really sure. So we'll just have to wait and see on that, won't we? So, first question today. What's your goal for today's arm session? Size, pump, or strength? All of the above. I want to go in there and I want to obliterate my arms so much that it just destroys this shirt. Like the sleeves just fall off because they can't hold on to my arms, because there's so much blood in there. But on a serious note, that was the serious note, we're going to destroy my arms. How are your arms feeling going into this session? Any tightness or fatigue? Absolutely not. They are feeling fresh. They're feeling ready for some heavy load. They're feeling ready for the destruction that's coming their way. They are battle tested and battle ready. Is today about building the peak thickness or overall volume? I have no idea. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to destroy these arms and it's going to be fantastic. So, it's the same answer to all these questions. What's one cue you'll focus on for better mind-muscle connection? When my arms are about to explode out of my sleeve, I think I'll feel that. The tightness in my sleeve, just from the sheer amount of pain I'm putting myself through. I think that's really going to be the cue that I'm making a good mind-muscle connection. What do you guys think? Do you train arms heavy or focus more on volume and squeeze? Mixture of both. I like to do a little bit of heavy work, but I also like to slow down, focus on some squeeze type stuff. I think it's good to have a healthy mixture of everything. Nutrition and recovery. Did you adjust your pre-workout meal to enhance the pump today? Not really, because I'm cutting back, so the pump might actually suffer a little bit, but that's just the give and take. If you're dieting down, your pumps aren't going to be as good. You're not going to be as full of glycogen, water. It's just not going to be the same. It's just part of the game, Are you supplementing with any pre-arm day to boost blood flow or endurance? No, I just made sure I ate good. I came in the afternoon instead of the morning, so my body was full of carbs and water. Made sure I hydrated throughout the day, focusing on afternoon lifts because they are just better for me. How long do you wait after a pull day before training arms again? Man, my split is pretty simple right now. So it's a 5-day split. I do arm day, then I do back day, then I do chest day, I do shoulders and abs, and I do leg day. That's it. Once that's done, I don't take a rest day. I start over again. So it's been working for me. Injury prevention, shoulders been feeling better, so everything has been going pretty good. What's one thing you want to improve in your arm training this month? Bigger focus on biceps. We're not going to start with triceps anymore. We're going to start with biceps. We're going to make sure my biceps are absolutely and completely thrashed before moving on triceps. Do you visualize muscle growth or pump before your sets? Well, I just did. I just visualized it right before your eyes. I just said, I want my arms to rip these sleeves off, and they're freaking going to, if I have one way to, think about it. What's one weak point in your arms you're trying to bring up? Biceps. Triceps are good. These biceps have got to catch up with these bad boys on the back. Are you experimenting with any new arm movement or angles today? I don't know. I've been thinking about doing some preacher curls with the dumbbell, so that might be something that sneaks in today. How do you stay patient with slow-growing muscles like biceps? Oh my goodness, I am losing my patience. I'm ready to be huge, but I know it's a marathon and it's not a sprint. So this is going to take a lot longer than you want it to. You just got to keep showing up for yourself And just know that all of these days are going to add up to something greater down the road. And if you persist, you keep pushing yourself hard, you're eventually going to get there. What would you... Oh, no, that was already... I mean, that's about it. So it's time to get in there. It's time to wreck these arms. And it's time to have a good time doing it. So I will see you guys afterwards. All right, there you have it. Arm day is complete. And I will say it was a very good one. I did mix it up this time. I started with triceps I started with biceps instead of triceps. So that's how I mixed it up today. And, you know, it went pretty good. I felt pretty good about the workout. Had a nice pump, did my cardio afterwards, and I mean, what else can you ask for? Awesome. So let's jump into some questions here. What movement felt strongest today, biceps or triceps? I will say triceps felt stronger for whatever reason. You know, I think I've unintentionally been slacking off on triceps a little bit just because I'm doing less volume. And I'm trying to let my biceps catch up, but I don't think I'm on that level of bodybuilding that I really have body parts that are falling behind. And as of right now, I can't, you know, I can see my muscles, but not to the extent of when I cut down, which is what I'm doing right now. What I'm really working on is cutting down. So I will say that I think I'm going to start hitting my triceps hard again. You know, I really enjoyed it. Just really enjoyed the look of my triceps when I was doing the single arm press downs. So awesome. Did you hit a PR or increase volume anywhere in your arm training? I increased my volume on my triceps. I'm bringing triceps back. I've already made it up in my mind. And I did finished off my triceps with some heavy press downs. I put it on 80 pounds, and it was at the end of my tricep training, and it did feel pretty tough. And I tried to push through it, and I feel like my technique fell a little bit. So with that said, yeah, it felt pretty good though. Let's see, what's the next question? Were there any form tweaks you made that felt game-changing? Form tweaks. You know, I tweaked some form with the preacher curls. You know, I don't feel it as good as I do cable curls, so I don't know how often I'll do that movement. So, no, I'd say there wasn't really anything that felt game-changing, you know, but it still felt pretty like a good workout. Which exercise gave you the best pump, and why do you think that is? What gave me the best pump? Just the heavy dumbbell curls I did. I forgot I went heavy there too. So I started off with some super heavy dumbbell curls, and you know, it really felt really good because I was really having to push the weight. And I haven't done heavy dumbbell curls in a while, so I'd say the best pump was definitely from those heavy dumbbell curls. I like that. Where did you feel the most fatigue? Elbows, forearms, or actual muscle? Most fatigue, I'd say the actual muscle. I don't think my elbows or my shoulders or anything like that was giving me any kind of problems today. So that's always a win. Because, you know, there's sometimes when you're training chest and your shoulder gives out before your chest does, and that's never fun. How did you rate the pump today from a 1 to 10? I'd give it about a 7 or 8. There was something missing. I've definitely had better arm pumps. And, you know, the goal going in was to have the best arm pump I've ever had. But, you know, it was pretty good. Felt pretty good. What part of your arm visually stood out most in the mirror post-workout? I'm going to change this question up and say during my workout, when I was doing the single arm cable press down, so I was looking back in the mirror, and when I really flexed at the bottom, this area around my elbow, there was a lot of definition. I had a vein creeping across my elbow, and there was definitely muscle separation you could see, and man, that just looked badass. It was pretty cool to see. What's your recovery plan for arms? Any special methods or food? No, not really. Sticking to the diet. So when I'm in a calorie deficit, the recovery is not going to be as strong, so that's fine. But I'm going to have some veggies, and some whitefish. That's my dinner, cutting back on the carbs on dinner for a while, see what kind of effect that has on my weight loss. Are you planning to change rep ranges next arm day or stick with the scheme? I don't know. You know, I've been playing with it in my mind to, you know, do like super heavy or do a slightly lighter day and just do kind of tempo. But man, there's something about that range 8 to 12 that feels really good. So as much as I want to change it, I don't want to change it, if that makes sense. How do your arms feel compared to last week's session? Stronger, sore, or more fatigued? They felt stronger today. I don't think I did an afternoon lift last time. I'm not really sure. They felt stronger because doing those heavy dumbbell curls in the beginning and then finishing with some heavy press downs, that was pretty cool. So I definitely felt stronger. Which arm muscle are you most focused on growing this session? Bicep peak, tricep width, or forearm thickness? I don't really focus on forearms too much. I got some pretty solid forearms going here, so I don't think I have to focus on them too much. And beforehand, it was a big focus on biceps. I think the big focus is there too, but I think the focus on triceps is coming back too. So everything really. How have your arms changed over the last 6 months of training? I feel like I've brought my biceps up a little bit. My triceps haven't changed much, but that's okay because they've been one of my strongest muscles. The definition is definitely coming in from dieting down, but it's really gonna be cool the next few weeks. Did anything surprise you about today's workout, mentally or physically? No, I really wanted to go in there and go as hard as I could. I'd say curling 40 pounders felt lighter than I thought it would. Not that they were light. I felt like I was going to struggle with them, but I was able to bust out more reps than I thought I'd be able to, so that was pretty cool to see. What lesson did you take away from today's arm session that others might benefit from? Man, don't be afraid to switch it up. Forever I was going with triceps and then biceps, and then today I decided to start with biceps and then do triceps, and it felt like a really good workout. And you know, it's fun to mix it up. There's definitely exercises that we love to do. You know, there's definitely a certain order we love to do things in, but I think everybody would benefit in mixing it up. So don't be afraid of that. You know, always go into the gym with an open mind, and I think you're really going to grow from that. But that was the last question. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, if you're into bodybuilding or you just want to follow this silly guy's journey, hit that subscribe button. Always, if you have any questions, I will include you in my video. Leave that below. Give the video a like, and that's all I got for you guys. Don't let that dreamer die. Keep the grind alive. Never give up on yourself. I'll see you guys next time.